Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking at a book which is relevant to all of us today, and it's this book by Jordan Publishing. It's in a new edition. It's called Company Voluntary Arrangements and Administrations. In a second edition, it's written by three people: Geoffrey Weisgard, Michael Griffiths and Lewis Doyle. The book is very much in keeping with the way in which Jordans publish their books. There's the front bit, the actual contents. You can see from the actual bits in the middle of the book. You've got standard footnotes at the bottom. You've got paragraph numbering, which is helpful. You've also got a number of forms which are set out, for instance there, and right at the end you've got a short index. The index is a little short, it could perhaps be a bit bigger, and then there's a blurb on the back. Now we've written, my wife Elizabeth, I've written a detailed review for Flickr, which is there, and what we say about this book is we've given it a title: Insolvency Practitioner, here's everything you need to know about CVAs. And what we're saying is, be you a barrister or solicitor, or for that matter accountant or academic, you'll need this book if you practice or advise in the area of company voluntary arrangements. The reason we say that is because I think in under 400 pages you've got a great deal here which will be very helpful as a very up-to-date statement on the law, without having to thumb through all the CPR books, the White Book and all the other books which the judges use in court. The necessity of producing a third edition reflects, in fact this is the second edition, but obviously reflects on the 7 years that have elapsed since the previous edition, during which time much has changed in this area of insolvency. As the authors point out, the scope of the new edition has been extended to include the related areas of administration. In their considered and expert opinion, quote, the CVA procedure should be an important part of the toolkit of each insolvency practitioner seeking to provide solutions to companies and their directors and shareholders. That's what it does. In a similar vein, Richard Fleming, who is KPMG's UK head of restructuring, is referred to as being of the opinion that consensual CVAs without moratoriums and used outside administration could provide a low-cost, effective restructuring tool. Administration, he says, is a process which should be viewed as the option of last resort due to the damaging effect it can have on the company's value, offering a practical alternative in many cases to taking the administration route. The CVA should come into its own as one of a range of restructuring processes available. However, its characteristics, advantages and disadvantages are, for a number of reasons, not entirely familiar to many insolvency practitioners. This carefully researched work of reference should therefore address the pressing need, especially in straitened times, for practitioners to acquire a deeper understanding of voluntary arrangements as compared with administration, which conveniently is also dealt with in the new section which has been added to this edition. We welcome this expert collaboration between a licensed insolvency practitioner, an academic and a barrister who practices in insolvency, because the book offers readers a useful tripartite perspective covering both theoretical and practical issues on the complexities of this often fraught and vexed area of law. New material for the second edition covers the implementation of relevant provisions of the Companies Act, which came into effect in October 2009. And the book in fact covers every aspect of CVAs, from procedure, costs and creditors to implementation, supervision, default, taxation and more. As one would expect, there are extensive tables of cases, statutes and so on. It's immensely practical, not to mention time-saving in our view, because there are 11 appendices which provide, for example, simple engagement letters, reports, statements and forms, which I showed. The book's up to date as at March 2010 and has everything you'll need to know about modern CVAs. As I say, it's very, very useful if you want to get the overview before you have to go into a very sort of detailed hearing of some sort. So thank you to Jordan and the authors. Bye bye.